No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I bring you the Rich Post Slim interview. Basically, the whole idea was that we were going to drink as much as we could on this podcast. I bought what I thought was a pretty big bottle of Bullet Bourbon.
No, we killed that, but you have to finish the rest of that before we start the interview. No, there's still a swallow.
Still backwash.
You drink the backwash.
Ugh.
We safe over here.
You really drink this shit all the time, huh?
Yeah, we drink it enough. We drink everything all the time.
I like that. But now we're stuck drinking PBRs because we ran out. We need a liquor sponsor.
Now, before we even get into me, we get into you, Adam.
Let's hear it. What's up?
First off, you got to apologize to my homegirl, Buttress.
Oh, no, I don't like her.
I know, but she's goddamn weird as fuck, but she's not a meth addict and goddamn whatchamacallit.
I didn't call her
weird.
meth addict.
Somehow she said you called her a meth addict and shit, bro, but like she just...
I mean, if I did call her a meth, I don't think I would say that. I'm not trying to obscure the argument by saying something I couldn't possibly know about her.
You can't just give her a small apology for me? She a cool person.
I mean, honestly, I'm open-minded about it because I don't really know anything about her besides the fact that she was hating on me.
Twitter and shit.
But I don't think I called her a meth head. I wouldn't say somebody's a meth head because
I think maybe one of your fans called her a meth head or something like that.
Probably that, yeah.
I mean, they're dickheads.
But she's your homegirl or what? Because I've
she's
seen
my
people
homegirl.
asking us to
she's my
interview her.
homegirl. That's somebody I ride for and shit. Like,
let's just talk about her then. So why not? Yeah, because I don't really know anything about her. I watched one video of her and I was just like, whatever.
She's from New Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
That's
She
already
does
a problem
like
right there, yeah.
it's like yeah, but I love people from New Jersey. They're a special type of ratchet I understand and shit like that. But she makes like performance rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when she really rapping and spitting bars and shit, like not even to be on no shit, but she's like a white jizza.
White jizza. Jeez, you're really going hard for her, huh?
I mean, it's not going hard for her and shit, but yeah.
Calling anybody a white jizza is pretty serious.
I mean, but have you heard her songs? Have you delved into it? I'm just saying
I wouldn't. Oh, I can't hear myself.
The first shit we heard, bro, she was spitting like that shit where she wasn't McCall.
I wouldn't. I mean,
I'm not saying on Jizza's level.
No. I'm saying like I'm not talking about levels or nothing like that. I'm just saying she was more like not Jizza. Goddamn. She was more like RZA.
Well, RZA,
Chris, you guys are both standing
too.
But I'm just saying, man, I saw y'all little spat and shit like that, and really have her come out to LA and argue with her in person.
I would love to be called out on camera.
You know what I'm saying?
Great,
like,
yeah.
that's the second thing. Two, I wanted to ask you how the fuck you feel with all these people just being like, oh, Adam from No Jumper is appropriating and he's just exploiting the culture because he's white and has access to all this shit and so on and so forth. Because personally and shit, I watch your interviews and shit like that. It don't feel exploitative to me. Like a lot of people you've interviewed and shit like that, even people I personally know and shit, I've learned things about them and their musical process that I fuck with and shit. But it's just like, bro, you pay attention to the internet like I pay attention in the internet enough because we wouldn't even have this whole conversation if I wasn't harassing you today.
Okay.
So how does the appropriation shit feel?
Number one, you are very good on camera while you're drunk. I thought you were going to be too drunk to communicate, but you're on point.
I like talking, man.
I just want to congratulate you on that. He's functioning very well while drinking a lot.
The conversation can flow.
Right. In terms of that, it's interesting that you named the Buttress girl because somebody asked me that recently. Do you get accused of cultural appropriation a lot? I'm like, not really, but she's one of the people I've seen call me out for that. I think honestly that's kind of part of why I sort of pulled back from doing like mostly rap interviews is because I don't want anybody to be able to put me in a box and be like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Like we do a lot of porn stars, we do like YouTube celebrities, all kinds of, but to me, I would agree in a sense that I feel like I've given voice to a lot of like wacky internet people. I want to give a voice more to activists, people who are involved in serious things. No offense, but you're no Nardwuar. You know what I'm saying? Like right now and shit, you're not about to be like in 1984, Rich Post Slim, you jacked a girl off in the bathroom, gave her. You know what I'm saying? It's jacked a girl off.
I don't know what the fuck. That's
don't
how
just
I'm
roll
drunk.
past that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We have hours here.
Bro, it's a new day and shit. You can jack a girl off maybe. You grab a big clit and just pull it really hard.
Or she had a strap on, which is cool because we're open-minded.
I'm not touching the strap, but
this is an example of how progressive Poe feels about.
I walked in a girl's apartment
equality.
the other day. She had a big ass black strap on, just sitting on a chair, and I held it up and I took a selfie with it. And
there was
first time I ever seen one of those things in my
girlfriend
life.
I had of mine and shit that she needed tampons one day, and I went into the tampon drawer, but I went one drawer down and shit into the dildo drawer, and she had like the goddamn 20-inch dildo and shit like that. And for like a month and shit, I was just like, bitch, why you want to fuck me and shit? And
20-inch.
Like she had the monster. The brother, like the porno dildo. Like I was just like, yo, if you was playing with yourself with that, like, I guess it really is love, because my dick ain't nowhere that big.
I hear that from porn star girls all the time, that they're like, you know, the big dick thing is whatever. Like, it's cool.
I
if a
mean,
guy's a big
personally
dick,
and
but-
shit, girls like the perfect size and shit, but
Yeah, I don't think the perfect size is like 12 inches and as thick as a PBR can. Like, because that's what they're doing in porn, and I don't think it's not ultimately what they want. I don't
Well, I was
think.
saying about goddamn with the whole appropriation shit and you
Right.
not being a narwhal, is the fact that you show genuine interest. Just
Right.
like I just watched you, you know what I'm saying, interview my homeboy. Even if you ain't know everything about him, you knew enough about him to be like, I personally want to know this more. Where you
Mm-hmm.
thinking this, your mind in this? You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Not for nobody else, but just for me and shit. It's not like you. And no offense to Vice and Thomas and shit like that, but it's not like you're like, hey, you do cocaine, do some of that cocaine
Hey,
in front of me.
You got a machine gun around
Pull
your
a gun,
shoulder.
pull a machine gun. How do you use that machine gun? You're on probation. You might get in trouble. But and you know what I'm saying? That's why I got like I fuck with you. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this interview. I would have just came here and called you 1,000 crackers and honkies and be like, you're appropriated.
Well,
bitch.
that would have been a good interview in its own way. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but-
okay. Let's say this. I don't feel like I get a lot of shit for cultural appropriation, but let's take Yes Jules. I feel like she has been getting shit for it for so hard for just, you know, she's trying to do good things for
Hey,
the
man.
scene.
Hey,
She's
man.
doing events. She's
Hey,
doing
man.
whatever, and she's
I got a
white.
job, and I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I know, because you work at Vice now, right?
No, I just got a job as a rapper, and I
okay, yeah.
don't want to talk about that
Oh,
at all
okay.
because, yeah.
Well, I totally respect your right to not.
Yeah, I
slander other
believe
people,
the
yeah.
fifth. The fifth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Long story short, if you want me to be honest and shit,
Sure.
the same people and shit. I don't give a fuck.
I don't think-
I just went fifth and
I don't even want to. You just went for like
Fifth and then-
I don't even want to.
but nah.
But all right, so
Just to think about it, to be honest, from what I've
Wait.
seen on the whole thing about just Yes Jules and shit like that is, bruh. When if it was a year ago, whenever we did our first Rolling Loud and this, that, and the third and shit like that, Yes Jules was a very nice, open person and shit, bruh. She did a lot of things for goddamn indie rappers and shit to try and put them on a bigger platform. With her being a white woman, it's more accessible. If my dreadheaded ass goes to a promoter and says, hey, I want to throw a rap show at your goddamn venue, they gonna say, bro, the people will type I can tell who you gonna type out, pull out of shit. It's gonna fuck my venue up. If Jules goes out and does that shit for you and puts you on the bill and shit, then yeah, you gonna get the show and shit like that. The thing is, bro, with the nature of fucking of America and Jules being an attractive white woman, of her doing that is gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger, and she's gonna do this
Right.
and shit
She
like that.
definitely has a
With that
help in
coming,
that
it
sense.
becomes a target and shit. I know plenty of rappers in South Florida and shit that Jules has done shit for. You know what I'm saying? Jules has personally, has brought me into events and brought me a show and so forth. While I get what people are saying, and man, I got a terrible sense of humor. I laugh at the jokes and shit like that.
Right.
It's a catch-22 and shit like that. Because at the same time, you can say she appropriated her and shit like that, but then what about all the black people who put her
That's
in
what I'm
this
saying.
position and shit, and now you want to abandon
Well,
her?
and
and
all the
shit
black
like
people
that.
she's helped. Like she said it, and it's true. Is that like she books black dudes 90% of the time
I'm
to
saying
play
at
her
the
shows
same
and
time,
makes money
at the
for
same
them, right?
time and shit, that's the problem and shit like that. If you keep like saying, "Oh yeah, I did this,
Right.
this excuse and shit," then it's kind of like, "Oh, I didn't do it for the love. I did it because." So when I got to this point, I could say I did it and be whoever I wanted to and shit. When I first met her and shit like that, even with what's it called, the end of the conversation we had and shit, it was that there's a small part of South Florida. And there's all these South Florida rappers who aren't getting these shines that I want to put on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if everybody was coming at her and shit like that, she should have been, fuck it, I did what I did and keep on I'm going. And that's just how I feel. Like, people gonna not like you for the fuck who you gonna be and shit like that.
Right.
And like, you a white woman who fuck with black rappers and shit. Like, you gonna get all the shit in the world. Like, that's how that shit gonna go.
I mean, okay, so let's talk about that then. What if Yes Jules, everything else, she's a 300-pound black woman? Her career trajectory is different, but
if Yes
how different is
If
the
Yes
question.
Jules was a 300-pound black woman and shit, she'd still be doing the local shows in goddamn South Florida and shit. And she would have respect and goddamn a decent amount of money and shit, but she wouldn't be getting Puma goddamn endorsements and she wouldn't be doing this, that, and the
But
third.
at the same time, she made all the right moves. She started the ad agency. She fucking has put herself in her own position.
I mean, at the same
and
time-
she does have her race and her beauty on her side.
At the same time and shit, you can say that and shit, but I know plenty of beautiful black goddamn promoters and goddamn Florida and shit like that. I know plenty of beautiful black women who do other shit like that. I'm not trying to say anything against Yes Jules, but there's a wall. There's going to be a wall. It's a fucking America and shit. That's how this shit's going to go and shit like that, bro. It could be a woman who is the light-skinned version of Yes Jules. Just as nice, do all the exact same shit, start an ad agency and that shit, and she'll never make that plateau and shit like that. And the thing about that shit is that's where the appropriation comes into play and shit, because Yes Jules sees that woman and she knows she's out there and she can go grab her ass and say, you're a part of my team. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a herald you and so on and so forth, and saying, I've done all this and this, that, and the third for you and shit. Well, then go do some shit. And it's not to say, like, whatever and shit. That's her life and shit. She can choose what the fuck, what she wants.
But if she takes a lot of different black women, Hispanic women, whatever, and puts them in positions of power, which I see her doing, she hires all these different people of all these different races to work for her, and then at some point, yeah, maybe she says, like, look at how much good shit I'm doing.
The student has not became the master and shit like that.
Well, she's still young.
Like, I mean, it's the same time. It's the same type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't went and grabbed her Gohan and shit if she Goku and shit. She ain't went and grabbed somebody who say, yo, in 2-3 years and shit, this bitch right here gonna be Yes Jules herself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, she thick, she got the whatchamacallit, she black, this, that, and the third and shit.
I feel like she might have,
Can you get right up in there? You can put the headphones on so you can hear yourself, yeah. Sorry.
I would say that we would not know that, because while she has an ad agency, there could be somebody that is just right there with her that is working on things with her.
I'm gonna say this, bro.
I can't actually hear myself in these.
I'm gonna say, bro.
You're making an assumption, like assumption.
I'm gonna make an assumption. With the assumption and shit, I'm gonna make the assumption. Fuck all the assumptions. All right, on some real shit, bro. We'll take a perfect case from Atlanta, and not to boost nobody up or not just my friend or this, that, and the third. But bro, you could take Flocka. You could take Flocka Land and shit like that. She had her brand that would stay positive in that. And from there and shit, she turned into be like, I'm gonna be a host, I'm gonna be a party promoter, I'm gonna do that. Honestly, Stay Positive was a successful fucking brand, bro.
Very successful.
It was successful for a goddamn young black woman from Atlanta who was 19, 20, or however the fuck she was, to have Waka Flocka, all these rappers doing this shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Then to say, I'm gonna start my own parties, do this, that, and the third. And honestly, it's not far from what a Yes Jules is. There's no single rapper or person I know in the city of Atlanta who's trying to make music who's gonna say, fuck Taylor Flocka Land. You know what I'm saying? She networks, she tries to help other black girls goddamn get in the position that she is. If you have a brand, she's not gonna say, no, I don't want you to get to this point and shit like that. And honestly, if you want to be real, she's been doing it as long as Jules. Cause I know she's been doing it as long as I've been rapping. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. And if I want to say that, at least 4 years.
Right.
And she doesn't have the same accolades.
But I'm not saying that they're different, but like Jules, maybe she just made the right moves. Like, and I'm not denying at all that like her beauty and her whiteness have certainly would help anybody in that position. But okay, let me just as a hypothetical.
I'm gonna say this. When you got the complexion for protection, the white moves are a lot easier to find. Because as you're seeing now and shit, even as drunk as I am, I'm an eloquent ass, coon ass nigga and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But like,
I started to nod when he said eloquent.
But I mean, I'm eloquent enough. I got my southern and shit like that, but I can goddamn get my point across.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? To whoever it may be. But if you look at me and shit, you're gonna be like, hey, whoa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He might take my wallet when I'm not looking and shit like that. And that's what I'm saying and shit is like, it's nothing against Jules. But even outside of the girl I told you from Atlanta and shit, there are a million black women who have been working and doing what she is doing, who are not going to be afforded the opportunity because they're black. Because if that was the case, there'd be 7 more Oprahs.
But there are a lot of successful black women. Like
there are a lot.
When I look at Yes Jules, I think about Karen Civil. You know Karen Civil?
I do know Karen Civil.
Right, she's really successful.
She is very successful.
And she's attractive, but she's not Jules. She don't look like, you know, because Jules is an outlier in the sense that she has a freakish body, you know? And she has a freakish body in the sense that that's stereotypically what black guys like.
Outside of that,
it's a weird coincidence, right?
She was everybody's favorite white girl until she got successful, which is another thing that's kind of wrong. But it's just like, outside of that, Karen Civil is more of an intellectual. You know what I'm saying? She is a black woman who speaks her mind.
Well, she doesn't pose in a bathing suit either.
I mean, that's the truth and shit. But I'm saying, at the same time, you're pulling Karen Civil against the Yes Jules. what I'm telling you is there are 1,000 more smart entrepreneurship black women with fat asses and cute faces
Right.
and good brains and know the right moves to make and who aren't fucking every nigga out here and shit like that and holding themselves in a certain standard and say just because I take a picture in a swimsuit or show my ass just like Jules
Right.
don't make me any less. But they're not going to be afforded those same opportunities.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like it's Jules' fault. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't choose. She was born white. That's her. You know, that's her life and shit like
Right.
that. But I'm just saying that people are mad and people take their chances to take shots at her because they know some woman who's been doing it for 10 years who's just as bad as Jules and shit, but she's stuck in her lane and shit because Puma's not gonna come and offer her a shoe offer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She can have. I mean, I know.
And that's
plenty-
white privilege. When people talk about white privilege, the definition of
It's
it
the
is that
definition
you're a
of it.
little bit more marketable,
You
so
have
a
the
brand will
complexion
reach
for
out
the
to you.
protection.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, point blank, period. Point blank, period. Like, I've seen black Jays on the street. You know what I'm saying? I've been in county jail plenty of times and shit. You bumping into people in the county jail on the freeway all the time and shit. I've seen people with crackheads came into the county, got off the crack. I see them 8 months later, you know what I'm saying, somewhere, and they back on crack. I've seen white heroin addicts in the county jail and shit. 8 months later and shit, and they got a job and they in a suit.
Right.
And they passing by their ass, they don't want to talk to me and shit. But their life is easier and shit. And they both were felons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Drug felons. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I'm definitely not denying that white privilege is a real thing.
I'm not
yeah.
either and shit, but like, if you're gonna be a public figure and so on and so forth, instead of trying to make excuses and say, well, oh, I did this, and so on and so forth, shut the fuck up and just do something.
You're right. I think that as a white person, there's like a very specific way you have to
mean-
handle yourself because you can't look good if you come
mean-
out and say, look how. Like I had a guy say, No Jumper is a tool of white
I mean,
supremacy.
you
or
get
some
shit, bro. You get shit.
here and there, but the
No,
thing
you
was,
get a lot of shit. You just don't.
I just
search
don't
your
see
name
it because I
up.
don't
Like,
give a fuck. But I'm just saying. All right, I've seen some guys say No Jumper is a tool of white supremacy. I could have gone into the argument with him. I didn't bother to get into the argument with him because I feel like if he's a guy who's trying to make it in the media world, in the industry or whatever, and he feels like he maybe hasn't been given a fair shot and that I was given an extra fair shot because I'm white, I mean, you probably have a point. Like,
All right,
I don't
well-
know exactly what the benefit I might be getting is, but
thing
I can
is-
see how I could be more relatable to the average consumer because I'm white.
And the thing is, like, I'm gonna respect Yes Jules and let her do what she do, and you know what I'm saying. As long as she rock with me, because I'm gonna be me. If Yes Jules gives me the opportunity to goddamn go perform in front of 5,000 people, I'm gonna do it. Even if her white privilege allow her to get there, because of 5,000 people I could reach. If you came on this show and you just wanted to pigeonhole me and call me a bunch of races and try me on the questions, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm gonna argue with your ass.
That would be a
because
weird look on my part,
I mean, it wouldn't matter. If we started arguing about the stupidest shit, I'm gonna sit here and argue with you till the time is up. Because I'm gonna get my point across as much as I can,
Totally.
and all your white viewers are gonna see me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want is the views.
Okay, but
and so on and so
let me
forth.
lay this out because I'm interested in how people view my perspective. But take Hot 97 and Peter Rosenberg. They you know, he's a white guy. He knows a lot about rap, but they gave him a job. You know, he applied or whatever. Apparently, they gave him a job. For me, it's a little different because I started a YouTube channel with basically like no advantages. But then you could look at it and say, well, he's white, and a lot of people are going to relate to him in a way because we all know that rap fans are largely white, like nationally.
It's a majority.
Yeah,
We're a
yeah.
minority. Even if you added it all up and shit, the people I know personally,
Right.
the people who buy my music are, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
16 to 25-year-old white kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Like that's who come
that's
my
the interesting
concert.
thing is like maybe have I been afforded some kind of extra benefit probably because of that? Like a black dude who started the exact same podcast as mine, maybe he would not have been
Yes, you've
successful
been
because
afforded the
it's
benefit.
a little bit less.
Yes,
it's a little
you've
bit more
been afforded
relatable,
the
right?
benefit. But the thing about you being afforded that benefit is you'll take a Rich Post Slim,
Right.
who, bro, I'm not the biggest rapper or so on and so forth, but something about you said you wanted to care and just interview me and hear about my voice,
Right.
and now you put me on to your people that you have.
Well, I'm lucky because I actually have been paying attention to rap for like 20 years, so I kind of get what's going on. Yeah, but I mean, I understand how for a lot of people it's kind of it's a different scenario
I mean, at the
because
same time, you kind of more young than a Rosenberg or 97. They got old, crusty nigga.
But he's still like 36 or something.
I mean,
maybe he's 38. I'm 32.
He got old, crusty New York nigga views or whatever.
Well, he likes the lyrical shit. You know, he's like.
I mean, you can like it all in all. Like, what the fuck was the message and shit? Like, niggas was a hip hop, hippity hopping, and don't stop the rock.
But I've been geeking out over Gucci Mane since like 2005. So
I mean, I've been geeking out over Gucci Mane since I was in motherfucking middle school. And
That's what's
like
weird
that.
for me is that I feel like I'm kind of on the right side of history where the rap that I always liked.
Well, yeah,
Shit, like 10 minutes.
You guys are dipping in 10 minutes?
No, we're coming back in 10 minutes.
Oh, you come
Yeah,
back in 10 minutes. Beautiful.
where-
Let me
where
know.
am I to go?
If the door locks, just.
Get something to drink.
Yeah, we're going good right here. So just hit me
Liquor
up.
store closed.
You could go to literally the bar right there. They got walk out 10 feet to the left, and there's a bar. Yeah. Okay, father's gonna go lit.
I don't know. I probably got in trouble for something I said.
No, I think you're good. I think if Jules listened to that whole thing, she wouldn't be offended. She would see it
I mean,
as
I
a
don't
pretty
have any
realistic.
problems with her.
Right.
I see why people don't like her and shit like that, but at the same time and shit, you can't champion something, and then when it gets to the place where you champion it and you pushed it forward and shit like that, you can't say it's a monster now and shit like that.
Right.
Because you didn't have a problem with it when it was supporting you fully and wholly and shit like that.
Like, but if somebody comes at me on Twitter, and that's why I don't really want to respond unless I really gotta respond. Like when someone said No Jumper's a tool of white supremacy,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, bro,
that's
I understand that you're a black dude and you maybe feel a little disgruntled because you feel like I've been granted an opportunity that maybe you wouldn't have had the same opportunity to do. Hey, I feel you, and I understand that that's a reality of how this shit works. And all I can possibly do is try to empower people of all kinds of races and all kinds of genders and all kinds of everything. Like, I want to be able to help. I would love, nothing would make me happier than to start like an Offspring podcast from No Jumper that was some black motherfucker who was maybe a little bit more politically inclined.
I mean,
than
at the
me,
same time,
could branch it out.
at the same time, just like you said, nothing would want you to do more and shit. Ain't nothing in bringing in Black Joe Guy Clark to be your co-host. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing and shit. Is when white people get in these positions and shit, and you just gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck it, hire the people and shit. Find these young
Right.
because that media as a whole and shit. Most of the writers and shit like that. I've been in a lot of goddamn offices. I ain't gonna say no names, but most of the people who write about rap people don't look like me.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is and shit like that.
So you got to just hope that
Most
they
of the people who
respect
take
your
the
struggle,
pictures
right?
and shit like that, they don't know the struggle. They can respect it all they want to, but they can't speak on it in a way and shit where they know it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They hear a rap song and it's just good for this urban notable. For the review of one rap album of Schoolboy Q is gonna be completely different from me and shit because I understand the lingo and the feelings of the goddamn black experience behind it and shit like that. And even like in a conversation and shit, if you hired a younger cat to even be your intern and shit like that,
Right, yeah.
and be like, bro, you get one show a week, you know what I'm saying, on Tuesdays, and I'll let you talk your shit, interview you on the interview. You're gonna learn more and shit. At the same time, you be helping boost somebody else because that's the thing. Like, everybody complains. I fucking being an idiot got into an argument with Wale on Twitter the other day.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a dickhead and
What
shit.
did you say about Wale?
I told him to stop complaining about bullshit and a joke when he was on President Obama's playlist and shit like that.
Right.
And the whole thing about that shit is just like, bruh, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just keep making fine music and goddamn say fuck all the bullshit.
But what do you think of Wale?
I think Wale is on his top lib, and it's the same. I don't know.
Like, on his Talib? Like making shit that's above the perception of the people?
Nah, it's not even Talib make shit above the perception of the people. Talib Kweli is somebody who come out with a great ass album and then been like, didn't nobody listen to it. It's over everybody's heads. All y'all niggas suck. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't want the truth and shit like that. When it's just like, fuck it. Because at the same time, Mos Def done made a bunch of goddamn the New Danger, a bunch of collective ass albums. And a lot of people ain't buy that shit, but he did it because he wanted to and shit like that.
I think it's weird when it comes to the Wale conversation because he seems like really angry in life because he's not getting the respect that he maybe deserves. and that maybe
He
some,
got 4.2 million followers. And
yeah,
shit
he got like
that.
5 mil on Twitter. It's crazy. right?
Wale goddamn Defense Squad was in my goddamn mentions saying,
Really?
bro,
Okay.
you don't want to goddamn talk what the fuck you talking about and shit like that. Bro, I was a Wale fan, and I'm not saying that
I
I'm
was
not.
too.
I'm
but
not.
what era are you talking? I'm talking like the
I'm talking about
Seinfeld
beginning
mixtapes.
Seinfeld, 100
Yes,
miles
me
and
too.
running.
I
and
liked
shit
him back
like that.
then.
You know what I'm saying?
What
even,
happened?
Even when he signed to Rick Ross and shit, he wanted to be the super like.
He wanted to be
He
a
got
little
lost in the
gangster, right?
sauce,
Yeah.
man. It's not he ain't go gangster. He still was Wale and shit like that.
Right.
It was just that he switched up his formula a little bit and shit like that.
But are we above just kind of saying that Wale is not that likable of a person? Because I feel like to him,
No, he's not a likable person.
he's mad.
He's a chronic complainer and shit like
and
that.
then people don't.
I mean,
relate
the whole
well
thing
to that.
about that shit is like you all have that friend who not gonna take the joke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you come
You're
in
gonna
and
get a
y'all
little too
start and,
serious,
like,
right?
that's just what it is. You just take that shit too seriously.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's how it is sometimes and shit like that, bro. But instead of doing that, I was like, bro, if these people shitting on you, write a record about how everybody's shitting on you.
Right.
You have people that's gonna listen to you no matter what. You
But
know
don't
what
you
I'm
think
saying?
the thing that pisses Wale off, and I would totally agree with it, is that people hate on him without listening to his like current musical output? Because for me, I just kind of got turned off to his personality at a
I
certain point, and
listen to
that's
his
when I
current
stopped listening to
musical
his
output
rapping.
and still listen to goddamn and still hate on him and shit, bro. I can't do that. I can't say, oh, this person sucks,
Right.
without delving into it and shit.
But
Even
he doesn't suck. He's a
I mean-
good rapper, good beats, but he just
he's lost
personality
in the suck.
doesn't. Yeah.
He's lost in the suck. He didn't really that same hunger and he had when he was 100 miles running the Seinfeld and like when he had concepts and shit. It's not the same because he felt that he should have been a lot more critically acclaimed for the stuff he did, and when he didn't get the accolades, he felt spiteful.
I mean, you got to think about it from perspective of somebody like him. He looks at 21 Savage is the hottest rapper in Atlanta, right? And then 21 Savage, he don't really rap like Wale. Like Wale's a real rapper's rapper. 21 Savage, he's dope to me, but his raps are
All
very,
right,
very
man,
simple.
but at the same time, it don't matter about the simpleness and shit like that. I mean, you gotta understand this shit, and I kick this in 1,000 interviews and shit like that. Like, bruh, Wale is a great rapper, and everybody talk about lyrics and lyricism and so on and so forth and shit like that. But the world as large has gotten dumber. People don't read books anymore. People get all the
Definitely read
information.
books,
I mean, the world as a large is dumber.
Right.
The percentage of people who use Twitter are a minority. People who use Twitter forget this because we're smarter than everybody who use Twitter. Facebook is still a very viable option. There are people
Facebook is where the Trump supporters gather.
but I'm saying it's not just Trump supporters. It's where it's where a lot of people gather and shit like that. We're ahead of the curve and shit like that. With that being said and shit like that, like Wale, I kind of lost my train of thought. Where were we starting?
just why like somebody like 21 Savage is objectively
21
not a great
Savage
rapper is getting all the accolades.
21 Savage is objectively a great rapper.
I
You
would
can't-
actually agree with that.
You
You're
can't
right, yeah.
say that he isn't because the thing about that shit is the feeling and shit like
The
that.
feeling, exactly,
And
yeah.
what I bring the shit back around to that is Shakespeare. Shakespeare is Shakespeare because he said, bro, I had to figure out how to write a play that somebody who is ignorant and doesn't know how to read understands, and it touches them, and at the same time somebody who is high class can catch the higher meaning and the inner side of the joke that is intelligent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the layman and the upper class can listen to it.
That's
you
really
know what I'm saying?
interesting,
21 Savage delivers the feeling.
Right.
Just like a Gucci man or so on and so forth. You may never know how to guy. You may never rob somebody. You name it, but you can feel the pain in the stuff he says. It may be monotone, it may be, but it's real.
It's believable for sure.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's a feeling. It's the same thing where you listen to Mozart. The notes he plays is the feeling. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like you can rap all day, and there's plenty of people who are good rappers, but sometimes you just don't want to hear that good rap. You just want the feeling. You know what I'm saying? People separate and want to put hip hop is dead and so on and so forth, but there's a space for everything.
But I think Wale probably looks at the hip hop landscape and he says, "Oh, Kendrick's super popular, J. Cole's super popular. What's the difference between me and them?"
I don't know about J. Cole, 'cause I don't listen to J. Cole. But the thing about Kendrick is he's always progressing as a rapper.
And at
he
the end of the day,
current.
it's charisma, right? Like
It's charisma, but at the same time,
yeah.
Kendrick personally has foresight. You know what I'm saying? His debut album. That's how he felt at the time. But like even his last album, you know what I'm saying? The Pimp a Butterfly. I bought that and had 56 at Nights at the same time.
What do you think of To Pimp a Butterfly?
I hated it at first.
Right. See, I didn't spend much time with it, and I didn't hear anybody talk about it.
I didn't hate it. I hated it at first.
I've seen people on Twitter talk about it, but
And
I hang out with all these kids that the first Kendrick album was everything to them. The whole summer, the whole whatever it was, listen to it. That's all I listened to. And then To Pimp a Butterfly came out, and I didn't see that response, regardless of what I thought.
The first Kendrick album was everything to me. It sounded like a Cash, Jay-Z, Eminem album.
See, to me in LA, that every motherfucking kid, that was their whole summer.
But you from LA, and I'm not. You know
I'm not
what
from
saying?
LA for the record, but I've been out here.
Well,
for a
I'm
while,
saying
yeah.
you've been out here. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I'm
yeah.
from Georgia and shit. But I'm not just saying it was a bad album and
Right.
shit. You know what I'm saying? To Pimp a Butterfly, he had the foresight, and it was ahead of the time because I wanted to be depressed, and I wanted to be on my Future shit, 56 Nights, and just drown out and be numb to everything that was going on. If you listen to Pimp a Butterfly now, it's a lot more socially relevant because everything that's going on and shit.
Actually,
Kendrick
yeah,
had the
it's true.
foresight to say, bruh, this is where we're going, and this is what we need to change and come together. And I say, as an album, to make an album contemporary for the time that it came out, but at the same time, a year from now or 2 years now, be even more meaningful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Makes him a great writer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But then put that in comparison to 56 Nights, which I listened to the whole year, like exactly what you're talking
listen
from
to
the
it at the
day
same
it came
time,
out,
but
and I might be in the gym tomorrow and be like, all right, 56 Nights time. This is what I'm going to do for motivation.
It's two different sides of the spectrum. Kendrick's diagnosing the problem and saying that I want to fix it. Future is saying that I acknowledge there's a problem, but all I know how to do is continue to do what I'm doing.
Right. But then
Even on March Madness, all these cop killings is sadness, you know what I'm saying? But like,
it's tragic.
you know, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, either I'm gonna be next. I can keep getting this money, and you know what I'm saying, trying to take care of me and mine, and so on and so forth. Kendrick's gonna tell you more eloquently, like, yo, this is happening, and I need to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's two different sides of the same black experience. Because if you wanted to put it like in the Wire's terms, you know what I'm saying? No offense to Kendrick and shit, but he's a stoop kid. You know what I'm saying?
He's an observer.
When the street lights comes home, he got to go inside.
He's not saying that he's a gangster. He's not
You know what I'm
saying that
But
he shot somebody.
them.
He's
But
saying that I saw this
a
and this is
lame.
what happened.
He's tried it before. He didn't like it and shit. Future is after the street light. I'm still out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm sleeping on my grandma's floor. I don't need a bed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're saying the same different things in two poetic terms, but people always want to break it down to what's more intelligent and what's this, that, and the third. But it's all valuable in the end of the argument.
Right. Like there was a Future lyric where he said, all my
smoke?
he said, all my N-words, pop Zans, unemployed. And then I remember I said something on the podcast where I was like, yo, that's a weird lyric to me. Like, is that something to brag about, that all your homies are fucked up on drugs and they're not doing nothing? But then I was like listening to the other day, and you know what the next lyric after that is? I can't help but going in steroids. So he's saying like, yeah, all my homies are fucked up on Xans, they ain't doing shit, but I'm the opposite. I'm the different one.
At the same time,
So he is acknowledging the negative.
At the same time, he's acknowledging the narrative, but if you look deep, why are all his homeboys on Xans unemployed?
Right.
All his homeboys, if you a Future and shit, are felons. You know how hard it is to get a job as a felon? You know what I'm saying? You got Baby, you know what I'm saying? Like Future got a multitude,
noob right there.
a multitude of kids himself and shit like that. You got all this stress and shit like that. Of course you want to pop a Zan. Of course you want to be a numb and shit like that.
Right.
And Future wanted to take care of his people and shit. Yeah, I'm going on steroids. Cause I go over my partner's house and shit. He's and out and shit. Because he done went to goddamn 12 job interviews and they all told him no. And his baby mama tripping and shit. And he love his son and shit like that. And the whole thing is, oh, you sound really too deep into it, but like, bro, that's how poetry fucking works.
Right.
That's what they taught me in fucking school and shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody could write 4 lines and shit and it got 12 different meanings and shit.
Right.
And no one wants to break down rap and analyze that shit like that.
So you think you view rap from a different lens because you have like experience with actually like knowing about writing and knowing about it from a different outside of rap perspective?
The reason I start, I mean, my first tattoo was poet.
What?
Poet, P-O-T, P-O-E-T,
okay.
poet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with poetry. That's how I started rapping. That's how that shit ended up, goddamn, being what it was. Whatever the fuck it, you know what I'm saying? And shit like that. And like I said, Shakespeare, my guy. You know what I'm saying? He introduced, like, that's the whole thing about rap.
Is that from high school or how do you get exposed to Shakespeare?
It's pretty much like early 4th, 5th grade, late elementary. My mother, she was always big on reading.
But
and
you
shit
just
like that.
loved it. You like took it to a
I
different
mean, I
extent.
read
You really
a lot.
paid attention to
I
it?
read a lot. I've always read a lot. Like, reading's always been my thing. I've always just read. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still read. Like, I don't read as many full-on books as I used to anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, last book I read was the Julia Beverly Pimp C biography.
Oh, really?
You know
I'd like
what
to
I'm
read that.
saying?
That's a good point.
It's a good book. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I read books I read already before, and then, like, I read the news.
Right.
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
That's my
Like,
problem. I get too into reading shit online that I won't read the books I got in my house. It's a
I mean,
tricky balance.
I just haven't bought any books, and it's just like, I should. I ain't keeping up with shit, man. It's just... But, like, yeah, I read a lot growing up, you know what I'm saying? I was just a foreigner about a lot. I grew up a lot different and shit like that. And, like,
How'd you grow up, Devin? You got a different influence from your parents? You're from Atlanta?
I'm from Atlanta. My dad's from Nigeria and my mom's from Oakland.
Okay. But you grew up in Atlanta?
I grew up in Atlanta. I was born in Oakland when I was 2 years old and shit. My mom moved to Atlanta when I was 2 and shit like that.
And so what was their influence like?
I mean, my mom's from Oakland and shit. She don't listen to it. Like, I mean, she listens to some
And your dad's
Atlanta
from
music.
Nigeria.
Yeah. But I didn't really start fucking with my dad until my late adolescence and shit. My mom listened to Pac, E40, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
her country and all that shit.
You know what's funny? I was listening to you earlier. I was like, this motherfucker kind of rap like E40 sometimes.
I mean,
or like just a dude from the Bay,
Area
a little
and
bit.
shit.
Am I wrong?
I mean, them a lot of my major influences the Bay Area.
I didn't
rappers.
even want to say it with
I mean,
E40
it
because I
is.
was like, it's probably somebody who's like not as popular, but he seems like he has a Bay Area influence.
E40 in my top 5 and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Pac, E40, Mac Dre, Juvenile, Pimp C. My
Juvenile.
top 5. Yeah.
What was your introduction to Juvenile?
Juvenile is what I'm.
The Ha video?
No, I mean, it's not the high video. Juvenile, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was, at the time when I was growing up in the 90s, the shit was very condensed and shit. We didn't play a lot of New York shit all the time unless it was just some smash and shit.
Right.
The shit I heard banging out of cars and shit was Juvie and Lil Jon and bass music and so on and so forth and shit like that. And then just hearing this song over and over and liking it. Like, before I ever heard 3 6 Mafia slob on the knob and shit, you know what I'm saying? I knew every single word from it, from people just reciting it.
Really?
To it. Like, that's just how it was. You know
I
what
knew
I'm
every
saying?
word
Me
to it
going-
before I understood why 3-6 were important outside of that. That was, when I really think about it, that was the song that when I was in like 11th grade, everybody knew Slob on My Knob before I understood the importance of 3-6. You got a good text going here? Anything we need
No,
to know
I'm
about?
just tweeting. Somebody said smoke one. I'm still listening.
I wish I didn't film this on my phone, so I had my phone so that I could like Snapchat interesting things going on here.
I don't give a damn. I'm kind of rude sometimes.
No, that's good. I don't mind at all. I want to know more about, obviously we're talking about all this deep shit, but I want to know more about like where you're coming from. Obviously, your father's right-hand man.
I'm not father's right hand man. I'm father's. Tell that nigga what the fuck to do and stop fucking up, man, and shit like that. Who
What,
got
so
good
you're his
ideas.
non-yes man? You're his no man? Like you tell him when he's blowing it?
He tells me when I'm blowing, and I'll tell him when I don't think an idea he's doing is good. And he'll listen, and then he'll take that into consideration. Like, Fat his own person, he's real disciplined and shit.
So you've been his homeboy since way before he was successful. Since
mean-
what point?
At least 2 years before he was successful.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's just a real good dude and shit. He's solid, like Fat solid.
But how'd you guys connect?
Via Obi, Ethereum. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
Like one New Year's Eve, Ethereum came through with all of them. And 2 nights later, I ended up seeing them downtown. I mean, 2 days later, I ended up seeing them downtown. They invited me to a little party, and since then, we just been hanging out and shit like that.
Ever since.
Yeah, and I went to school with Ethereal and Michael Friedman of Alpha Records and shit
Okay.
like that.
So were you listening when Father was sort of describing like the Atlanta art underground scene? Like, what was? Were you a part of that before? Like, you had any kind of glimpse of like mainstream success
Like-
through Father?
No, I mean, I paid attention to shit. When I started fucking with Fat and them, I paid attention to shit. When I started fucking with Fat and them, I started figuring out what's going on. I went to a few Broken Bougies, but I was just on some cool shit. I really ain't know nobody or like how to even approach the scene or what was what and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of the quote unquote cool kids. I was just,
Well, he wasn't either, right?
Fat had his own
Oh,
sauce.
okay. So he was sort of developing in that way.
I mean, he wasn't ever really no lame. He was just awkward and socially awkward and shit.
Right.
And very forward and shit. Like, but he always had his own. Like, people always liked him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm brash. I'm rude. I say what's on my mind. I am very forward and shit. Like, are we gonna fuck? Are we not gonna fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is whatever it is. And then we could be cool afterwards and shit, but that's just how I was feeling and shit.
Right.
And goddamn, Fat is just kind of more smooth, but I don't know. Like, we've been in some adventures and shit with goddamn way before the rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
What, illegal stuff or just partying or
Fat's
what?
not illegal, nigga. I'm saying just partying and shit.
So
like
he
that.
was never trapping like that, but were you?
Fat tried to sell Molly before.
What, like one time?
I
One
mean,
night?
for a little while, Fat tried to sell Molly. He wasn't good at it, but yeah.
Was that your role early on when you were the dude like peddling pills and shit or what?
I mean, I'm not gonna say what I was doing coming into the group and shit, but like,
Dude, it's been a long time. Atlanta PD ain't knocking on your door nowadays.
I wasn't doing nothing. I'm an angel. But I don't know. Like, yeah, I've done a lot. I'm not good at hustling anything.
A hustler in what way?
Like, I mean, I can sell my music. I can sell words. I'm good at that.
Right.
I'm good at that. But like, selling weed and all that shit, like, something I do or I use, nah, man. I was always more so somebody who took something from people.
You were robbing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
In what scenarios? I mean, give me a sample scenario.
And
They always say I'm Fed gang, so
in whatever scenario, I mean, it don't matter. In whatever scenario I could and shit. It'd be some fat girl I fucked and shit, met off Moco Space, and I took $100 out of her purse and never talked to her again because I called her off a flip phone. I got down with no nigga and shit who got them keep weed in his house and shit. And while that nigga at the party and shit, I go and steal 4 QPs and shit. Like, just a greasy, grimy motherfucker. Like, I steal shit, like gunpoint, whatever it may take and shit.
so
Like,
you still got respect for the robbers.
I got respect for anybody who do any type of crime except murder, goddamn. Really, like unnecessary, unjust murder if it ain't you or them.
See, I got
Child molestation
all these
and
friends
shit.
who tell me stories about like, yeah, I fucked this girl off Tinder and I stole her laptop, and I'm like, God damn, you guys are wilding. Like, I'm glad I'm not in that position anymore because I'll probably be doing the same thing.
But I mean, that's just stupid shit. Like, I mean, I was like, younger and shit. I was done stupid shit like that, and like, I don't know. I had a girlfriend and shit. Just I wanted to get some. I stole money out of her purse and shit to go get Zans, which I did replace and shit. But it was just the principle of it and shit like that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying, like that. But for the most part and shit, like, I got to honor amongst thieves and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna steal from people I know or love and shit like that. I try and goddamn get over and shit.
You mentioned the Zans. You were you on it similarly, like in a destructive way, like Father was apparently?
Last year was just Zan year. I mean, I'm still apologizing for shit I can't even remember I did and shit. Like, I mean, it was really, really terrible. And it was one point, like, really coming up, like, that birthday, the 20th, like, the 18th or the 17th and shit. We the, like, anniversary of the time I took, like, 15 and tried to off myself and shit.
So you actually wanted to kill yourself at one point?
I mean, I'm not good at it. I tried multiple times.
15, I think, could kill a lot of people. I've never even seen 15. I took 2 and I slept the whole next day, and I was like, man, this shit, I gotta stay away.
I was taking, like, 4 or 5 a day, though.
Jesus Christ, that's serious. How'd you get to that point, though?
Life and the rap industry.
Right. All right. Well, hey. I don't know. What do you say to kids? You probably see young kids wanting to do Xans all the time and shit. How do you act towards that?
They stupid. And they give it to me, I'm going to take them. I might not take them to take them, but
Rob a little kid for some Xans is like a victimless crime, right? You're doing them a favor and you're doing yourself a favor.
They either got them from their parents or spent some stupid money on them and shit like that. I mean, I don't know why the fuck not. Like, that shit is stupid. Like, at the end of the day and shit. All right, cussed me out this morning about that shit. Even for taking, like, little forks and shit again and shit. The shit is stupid.
Wow, he's really off it like that, though. That was good.
I mean, yeah. He cloned that.
Yeah.
He be shopping at Whole Foods and shit.
But you still be on the quarters and shit, just trying to make it through the day?
I mean, I have been in recent times because of personal issues that's been going on.
Right.
But it don't help shit.
Hey, well, let me read the tattoo on your forearm. What's it say? We're all black.
Black as fuck, we're all God.
Black as fuck, we're all goth. Where'd that come from? What was that?
Their father lyrics.
Oh, okay. From what era? What year are we talking?
Why can't I cry money?
Okay. Interesting. I don't remember that, but that's...
It's from his...
what's it mean to you?
It's the truth. I was born black. It's a sad experience and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck what kind of you spoon fed and shit. You gonna suffer some mean black pain and shit.
I think I gotta go get them at the door right now. I think they might be out there.
Go grab them and see if they out
One
there.
second.
Yo, I'm about to tell all my Twitter followers to ask me questions for No Jumper.
And the chicken ain't nobody out there.
Them niggas dip.
We're getting drunk though. This is cool. All right, we're back. All right, so you just started rapping very recently.
Like 3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah.
Okay, but what were you doing? Like, what was your role in Father's Circle and stuff? Because you were around before you started rapping.
I mean, he taught me to shoot videos.
Okay.
And helped direct, do that and shit like that. And then the rap. I mean, he already knew I rap, but it was the video shooting shit that started it all.
So that's why he was like helping get you going in the first place. How did you guys connect at first? Like, he even knew you as a person.
Through Ethereum.
Okay. That was your connection?
Yeah.
So how'd you know Ethereal?
High school. I've known him for motherfucking like 16 years.
Oh, okay. So what was your perspective of like Awful Records, like before Fat blew up and everything? What do you just view it as like the local artsy rap collective?
It
Or what?
wasn't really Awful Records. It was a bunch of friends and shit who was like trying to figure out what they wanted to do creatively, like throwing parties and doing different this, that, and the third. And really, like, Archibald Slim was already rapping and making beats, and so was Style Majesty.
Okay.
And Fat started, and we just kind of amassed together and said we're gonna do this off a record shit.
So Archibald Slim and you guys, what's your relationship exactly? Because you got this,
Archibald Slim's one of my best friends.
but you guys got the same last name in the rap game.
No relation and shit.
No
just
relation.
Happened like that.
Just
shit.
happened like that?
Yeah, I just met him. His name was Archibald Slim, and I was Rich Post Slim.
Uh-huh.
We got a little duo. We call ourselves the Brothers Slim and shit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's one of my best friends. I get on his nerves. He gets on mine.
What, you mad at him right now? That's how you sounding.
Nah, I ain't mad at him right now. He probably mad at me for some random reason.
What's Rich Post Slim, though? How do you break that down? Where did that rap name come from?
I mean, I used to be Slim Post Slim and shit, and I used to go by Poe, you know what I'm saying, for short.
Uh-huh.
And one of my good friends I grew up with, you know what I'm saying, Greg Manley and shit, his sister, we was going over her house and shit,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, this is my homeboy Poe, and she was like, you can't be Poe in my house, I'm gonna call you Rich. And she really ran with it for the whole day and shit.
And tricked everybody else into believing it?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when we was getting back in the car, I was just thinking about it. I was like, Rich Post Slim. And I was like, it sounds a lot better. And
That sounds like a rap name to me.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
mean,
oh, that's a rap name, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even then, I mean, if I broke it down to name, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rich in game, I'm a poet, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm slim. I can break it down in a bunch of ways, but I like my rap name.
I like it too.
One word, though.
So what exactly were you doing before you were rapping?
Me, a scumbag. Selling
Yeah,
mid.
scumbag. Just so you met Father and he was respect for you because you were doing selling mid. That's what you just said. Huh?
I mean, I was selling mid when I first met Fat. And I ended up losing my job because of probation violation. And I just was like, I ended up getting another job as a busboy, but it was just like, I just couldn't work for nobody and shit. Like, I don't know. I just can't do it.
Right.
Even if I did work for somebody, I'd rather work for one of my niggas
Right.
than work for some random motherfucker and shit.
Do you respect the mid smokers who are still out there in 2016?
Yeah, I still respect the mid smokers. There's a lot of grandmas and aunties who smoke mid. I smoke a blunt of mid when I got it to humble myself
Right.
and remember what I don't want to go back to.
A blunt takes away a lot of the flavor that you can taste in the weed. So I feel like a blunt full of mid, you might not even really think about it.
Oh, nah, man. It's just terrible, man.
I'm not even anti-mid like that, man. I'm cool with that. I'll buy a pound of mid right now. You got one?
Nah, if I had we like a border away from Mexico, you probably get a pound of mid for $100.
You're right. Yeah, what's the worst weed you ever smoked?
The worst weed I ever smoked.
Yeah.
It's been some times.
Bro, I went to Argentina.
I smoked some Burt Reynolds, some real Smokey and the Bandit.
I guarantee I smoked worse than you in Argentina, bro. It was black. It was the black weed.
And you shouldn't have smoked it. I would smoke
I pretty
that
much,
weed.
that was actually what happened, is that we lost interest in even smoking weed.
How old are you, Adam?
32.
You 32. You're not that old.
Nah, it ain't that old.
Nah, you like good millennial, weird age.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
All right, so we're kind of the same,
I was
same
a freshman
generation.
when you was in senior high school.
It's weird when I
You
interview
might
people.
stuff me in a locker.
Nah, I never
I'm the
did.
oldest in office.
I was getting bullied. I mean, not bullied, but I got bullied too.
I mean, I fought.
Yeah,
So I got bullied, but I fought.
yeah.
You weren't gonna take my Pokemon cards and shit like that.
I didn't play Pokemon cards. I played Magic the Gathering because I'm a few years older than you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah.
But now I'm interested in Pokemon because of the Pokemon Go game.
I ran out of Pokeballs and I just stopped playing that shit.
You should have bought another 100. It's like $5.
I'm not playing. I don't know. I'm not attaching no card to that shit. Like,
Get out of the mic. I'm sorry, but you
my
got
bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny though. What would you consider your role in Awful at this moment in time? Not the past, not the future, but right now. What's your role in Awful?
A nigga who need to do more.
You need to do more.
Yeah.
You feel like you've been slacking?
I used to do more.
Uh-huh.
I used to do a lot more.
What happened? What changed?
Drugs.
Just the drugs? Just the Zans or what?
Drugs, life. Not. I mean, I used to be a real positive nigga, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what was going on and shit, you were driving for it.
Uh-huh.
And you know what I'm saying? Just mistakes I made, like, and shit I've done and shit. You know what I'm saying? And come to the conclusion and shit that the only way, you can't go back in the past and fix some shit on some back to the future shit. You just gotta be better in the future and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm not talented and shit. It's just that I spend more time putting my goddamn talents into fuck shit than into goddamn my talents, because I'm impatient. I would rather have quick money than want to wait 6 weeks for a rap check.
So you're saying you had a hard time leaving the street shit behind, even though some of your homies been succeeding on a more
I
legitimate
wouldn't
level and
necessarily
everything?
say street shit. I'm just a coon at times and shit like that.
What do you mean when you say that? Because that's something I could never say that. But it's. I want to know what you mean by
I'm
it.
reclaiming the word. You can say coon. What the
I hear
fuck?
academics saying it all the time.
I mean, if you're gonna be a coon, be a tycoon and shit. I mean, I take shit up.
I like that a lot. That was pretty good.
If I don't like you, if I don't love you, if I don't know you, if I don't got no love for you and shit, I'll take some shit from you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I see the chance and shit, like, it's America.
Mm-hmm.
America was built on taking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Capitalism and shit, like Aladdin and shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta steal to eat, gotta eat to live.
Motherfuckers only stop taking shit once they make it, and once they're too high profile to keep taking
I
shit,
mean,
right?
they still take shit.
Yeah.
America is the land of taking this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or they find
You
different
know,
ways to take the shit, right?
It's not different ways. It's just it's on a bigger level. It's
Right.
corporate. It's this. It's
what
this.
I'm saying,
That and
yeah.
the third and shit like that. But they still taking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people want to break it down to this, that, and the third and shit. But you just gotta be better at taking shit to other people and shit.
There was a point when I was like 19 that I felt like I had a really good grip on eBay, and I was selling everything that wasn't locked down. I was in college. I was taking everything. And just eBay, everything. I don't know how the fuck I thought I was going to get away with that forever, but I did.
I mean, that was back in the early days.
Exactly. Now they got the chip on the credit card. They fucked everything up.
Yeah, but I mean, they gonna find some new way to get around.
Yeah, they're going to be able to make the chip. I just don't know how it's going to work. I don't want to find out either. All right, so can we talk about this interview that I watched earlier with you where you fell asleep like 3 different times?
Talk about with my ex Justin.
Oh, is that your ex? I was actually wondering about her. That's over?
Yeah,
What happened?
she hate me.
She hates you. Why?
I'm not gonna go into all that.
A lot of girls hate me too, so I feel you on that.
Nah, but she hate me.
Really? What, you blew it or what?
I'm
You
trying-
regretful?
I'm regretful about most of the females I've come across
Right.
in my life because I'm just bad.
You feel like that's like a constant thing in your life. Like you just keep meeting amazing women and then you keep blowing it.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I even meet girls that I feel like aren't really like, they're not doing too great in life. But I could, if I really put my heart into it, I could really help them get where they should be at.
Yeah, but
It's a damn shame that I ain't got all that effort, you know?
I don't think they need our help. They just need to stay the fuck away from our asses.
Oh, stay away. So you're dead set on staying single or what?
Right now, I'm dead set. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love for a lot of people and shit, but like, I just don't think it's gonna work.
What, a relationship at this point in your life? Why? Because you feel like you couldn't say no to some groupie pussy or what?
I don't like groupie pussy
Why not?
because I'm not gonna die for my dick.
How you gonna die? It's mostly harmless, right?
Nah, I don't know. I don't know about that. And it's just not fun and shit, bro. Like, I'd rather fuck a girl I goddamn got affection for and love and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And just goddamn go Super Saiyan with that and goddamn just be on some random groupie or some shit like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm so new to the groupie thing in the hip hop world that I'm just, I'm not sure when it's gonna wear
It's a
off. It
different
should wear
thing.
off soon.
It's a different thing from the olden days.
The olden days.
I mean,
Well,
that's-
you're 28. You've been getting pussy since before the internet, right?
yeah.
So it's a totally different world.
I mean, it's the same word. If I wanted to go back to fucking ratchet Wendy's girls and shit, I could.
Wendy's.
Shit.
You're saying that like you know that I actually did hang out with a girl who worked at a Wendy's like 2 months ago, and that she did not give me the pussy. She fronted on me.
I mean, that sucks for you. I would have got the Wendy's pussy.
Yeah, I wish that I could have, just somehow finessed the situation.
I
But
don't know.
she was not feeling it, so
It's, I don't know.
that did cross my mind. I was thinking like, you work at Wendy's, shouldn't you just let me?
It's not that easy. You gotta respect her sexual
That's what I'm
agency and all
saying,
that
yeah.
shit. But I don't know. I can go back to fucking rashes and shit, but it's just like, nah. And I ain't even on the goddamn. Like, I don't know. I look at some titties, call that shit a day, go home, go to sleep and shit like that. Like, I got too many problems.
Right.
I got too many places I fucked up with women I really care about and I really believe in and shit.
Let me just ask you a random ass question that's popping in my head. If you got a friend and he got like a rape accusation, allegation, whatever, is it hard for you to like stay his homie, given that like you were like questioning whether you might be guilty or not?
That's a tough one.
It is, right? And I feel like it happens more and more these days.
I mean, but that's just the toughest one as a person and shit because I would want to say and shit that my niggas and shit and the people I hang around and shit is a bunch of no mean, no ass niggas and
right,
shit
right,
like that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I try not to be around no rapey niggas. I try not to be no rapey nigga and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, and it sucks because I'd rather believe women and shit because most 9 times out of 10 ain't wrong, and then
Right.
the way this shit goes and shit, like they gonna be persecuted for being raped and shit, and the way this shit goes.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you always want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but then at the same time, a lot of guys know a guy who's gotten accused falsely. So it makes you feel kind of like,
I mean, honestly, I ain't know no niggas who got accused falsely.
Oh, really? Everybody you know is guilty?
I mean, niggas who be taking the pussy and shit like
Right.
that.
See, I never hung out with a guy that like would acknowledge it. If they did,
I mean,
it was sneaky.
it wasn't no friend of a friend and shit, but it was. I mean, it wasn't no goddamn Ace Boone and shit, but it was like a friend of a friend and shit. But like, I mean, I don't know, niggas be taking the pussy out here,
Right.
and it's a certain line in the fine line. Like even when a girl get a certain amount of drunk, where you just like, yeah, maybe she with it.
Right.
Quote unquote, but she not, you know what I'm saying? She ain't cognitive, and you just can't fuck with that shit.
Yeah, it's a weird line to be drawn because there's definitely a point where she's too drunk, but a lot of times you're both drunk as fuck. There's been times where I was so drunk that I thought about it the next day, and she was just as drunk as me, and I was still like, damn, I hope she don't.
I'm gonna do a whole bunch of coke so my dick don't work, and then I just fall asleep.
That's like the guy chastity belt. You do a bunch of coke so your dick won't ever work. I could see you in court telling the judge, like, nah, I didn't fuck her. Like, I promise I did so much coke I couldn't have possibly fucked her. Hey, all right, but before we wrap this up, because we're damn near an hour in, just for the record.
I mean, we just talk shit.
We lit as a motherfucker. But I want to ask this question. You spent a lot of time in Atlanta. You spent a lot of time in New York. You spent a lot of time in LA.
No, this is my first time in LA ever.
Okay, well, you haven't spent that much time in LA, but you spent a little time in LA. What do you see as like the differences that you see between everything?
New York fast as fuck. LA everything far as fuck. Atlanta home.
Everything in New York is close as fuck, right? That's a nice part
It's
about
close,
it, right?
but you gotta get there. It's not even really close. It depends on where you're going and what you're trying to do. That's what it really depends on.
Yeah, when I go back to Brooklyn, I'm like, God damn. There's like 100 cracking bars within 4 miles of each other. In LA, there's a lot of poppin' shit going on in LA, don't get me wrong.
I don't know shit about
But
this.
it ain't in this little tiny consolidated area.
I don't know shit about this town.
All right, let's wrap this up. Who you want to send a shout out to and what we got to look out for from Rich Bro Slim? I'm really glad, honestly, I'm really glad we did that drunk ass podcast. Because like, we're both drunk as shit. You might be a little more drunker than me.
I'm not that bad, but I think I can go. I got another PBR right here. But motherfucking, you can look out for my shit whenever I drop my shit. Because I'm not putting no timetable or no, like, anything on my shit. Because something may happen. I made a promise and then my computer gets stolen and shit.
You got a computer stolen?
It could happen. I don't know. My life is a life.
Has you ever got a computer stolen before, though?
No, but it can happen.
Dude, I said it like computers, like they're saying that Bobby Shmurda thing. I said it wrong.
But I don't know,
Computer
man. You look out for a lot of good shit from Alpha Records. Shout out to my boy Archie. He working on some good project. Lord Narf album about to come out.
What's that going to be like? You heard the Lord Narf album?
Lord Narf album gonna be something
I'm
amazing.
so intrigued by all the females of Awful Records because there's so many. Normally, a rap crew has one signature female.
Nah, we got
You guys got a bunch, and they're so different.
Off of Madre, got a lot of photography projects coming out.
Tommy's out here snapping.
Eat Humans, Tommy Snapping, Michael Friedman album is getting a fine tuning on it. Stalin Majesty coming with Sunday Night 2 sometime in the fall. Like I said, Ethereal about to drop 3 projects. Alexandria got a new project about to come out. Like Louis Diamonds, Quince got like a catalog already of stuff that needs to be checked out, and he about to re-release something with some new tracks.
Right.
Like everybody in Alpha Records working. I'm a lazy one. I need to put out some shit.
Yeah, you do. Get on it, man. What's going on?
I don't know.
All right, so who you want to send a shout out to before we wrap this up?
I want to send a shout out to everybody who really loved me and my mother for putting me on this world, and I love you.
You smoke backwards? Can we smoke a backwood off camera after this?
Yeah, if you got some weed, I rolled all mine up.
You want? I mean, I can roll it too. I don't know. You don't trust me as a white guy rolling
no,
a
I'm
blunt,
just saying, I just rolled all my weed up. If you got
Oh yeah, I got weed. I got blunts. We got all that.
what the fuck else I was about to say? There was something else I wanted to say.
Follow me on SoundCloud, something like that.
I'm Rich Post Slim on everything. If you actually care about my music, I just
can
came on
find
here
it.
to talk. You can find it, Rich Post Slim. Just Google that shit.
Right.
Oh, you throw shows, man? What's going on, man? Throw the No Jumper.
I don't throw shows, for the record. A lot of people, I'm over dealing with the fucking independent underground
I'm glad
show
that-
promoters, man. They can miss me with that shit. They're too complex. They never pay up. They're, oh, shit, no work out. I don't know.
They dickheads, you right.
I gotta find the right situation, you know.
You gotta create our own situation, take over with a rug. I appreciate you having me.
No, I'm happy to have you on here. I'm just honestly, I'm just a fan of the Awful Records like movement in general. So to me, we got Booty Math and Alex Russell in the first one. Then we had Slug Christ. Then we had the president, father, and then we got the vice president, Rich Bo Slim.
I'm
Right?
not the vice president. I'm just an uncle. I'm not. I'm A&R at most. Anything.
Wait, so are you the one? He's signing all these people and working all these people. Are you sort of the dude who's like cluing them in? Shit you found out about it or
I
what?
just find random young niggas and be like, you think this nigga cool? Like Archie will be the vice president or something. I'm definitely not on that board. I'm just a nigga out here doing shit.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. We all trying to be out here doing shit. I'm trying to do some shit.
This is true.
All right. Well, hey, Rich Post Slim, thank you
Rich
very
Post
much.
Slim,
I
what's
want
that?
everybody out there to understand this is a drunk ass podcast. We drink the whole thing, the bullet bourbon, and then we PBR'd up. PBR Shorty. Shout out to our sponsor, Pabst Blue Ribbon. They didn't give us this beer free, and they didn't pay us a goddamn cent. But I'm shouting them out.
To.
I'm shouting them out just because I've been drinking this shit for so long. I can't even remember drinking anything else. So, thank you for doing this interview, and we out. Check out No Jumper, SoundCloud, iTunes, and follow Rich Post Slim on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube,
Spotify, all that shit.
Spotify,
Apple Music.
Racks.
Yep.
Peace.
Ah.